Before 2014 in Nigeria, when you're talking about reputable car brands, after mentioning Toyota, Honda, Nissan, if you mention Hyundai, everybody look at it that, what are you talking about? These cars just came now. They are not strong. They've not proven themselves enough. But now, I love what is happening. Everybody is talking about Hyundai now in Nigeria. Elantra, iX35, and the Sonata. Everybody has realized that this Korean brand is here to stay. You've used Honda, you've used Nissan, you've used Toyota, you've used all these cars, and everybody has told you, don't buy Hyundai, don't buy Hyundai, don't buy Hyundai. Calm down. There's a way. This car is not that car that they'll tell you to not buy. Why? Look at it now. Why would they tell you to not buy Sonata and enjoy yourself? Do you understand? Crank is here for you. I'll be telling you why I think you should buy this car, why this car might just make sense for you, the problems you face while owning this car, because there's no car that doesn't have a problem, and also the price and what it takes to maintain this car in Nigeria. My name is Crank and this is 234 Drive. Let's get into it on the Hyundai Sonata 6th generation. This video is brought to you by Techno. The first thing for me would be the looks. This car reminds me of a big fluffy teddy bear. Like it just looks big and I just want to like hug it. First thing you need to know is that this car has that Passat CC effect. They call it a coupe design. Like you can see how it goes like this. It just slopes all the way back. Compared to the previous generation that was just boxy, this one has curves. You can see the wraparound headlights all the way to the side of the fender. And I love the chrome finish. The chrome runs all the way down. This car makes a statement. This is a statement Hyundai in Nigeria that you can have. So I like that about the Hyundai. On the side, Hyundai executed something they call the fluidic sculpture design. Fluidic means water. So look at the side here. It feels like water is flowing through the body of this car and now forcing its way out. Like water is finding its path around this car. It was first seen on the iX35 back in the day. So yeah, I love this design. But the downside to this design is if say you have an accident with your Sonata and they bash the side, it is going to be very tough for all these low-skilled Nigerian panel beaters and painters to get this shape back. When they start molding the side and you have like, what is happening? Is it for Eba? Is it for Gary? Is it for beans? Is it for beans? Well, yeah, like what I'm trying to say is, you need to make sure that you don't bash your car on this side because you hate the car when they try to get it back to shape. So that's the only downside to this fluidic design, in my opinion. So yeah, the thing about the Sonata is that in its class of rivals, in its class, yeah, it doesn't feel like a regular daily driver car. It feels like a lot of work was put into the Sonata to make it look and feel premium. So yeah, it has all these things like strong character on the side, strong character in front, strong character behind that. This car now has a presence. All-round beautiful car if you ask me. All-round beautiful car if you ask me. But the only issue with the Sonata is that personally, I am not a curvy design kind of car guy. Like I don't love cars that have all these curvy designs. But I know that this car has a strong following, especially in Nigeria. I've met a lot of babes that will say, I would do anything to have that Sonata just because of how it looks. Aha! The trunk space is large. You know, when you're buying t-shirts, there's small, there's medium, there's large, there's XL. This one is large. Yeah, it is large. And for cars in this class, I think it has the biggest trunk space I have seen. Bigger than the Camry, bigger than the Accord, bigger than the Nissan Altima. Yeah, so this trunk space is very large. I don't want to enter inside because if I enter inside, you won't see me. Let's take a look at the interior. So yeah, the first thing you see is that this car, the materials used to build this car, they are not the best, but you are sure that they would last. Because this car, the owner has had it for about 2 years and she didn't buy brand new, obviously. The 2012 car and this is 2022. So this car has been existing for 10 years and it still looks like this. All black, everything just looks good. I love how the AC is placed in a vertical manner. Every other car is horizontal. Remember I said a breath of fresh air. Look at this AC control, for example. It is cartoonish. If you want to direct it to your leg, you press the leg part. If you want to direct it to chest area, you press your chest area part. So anything you press here is what's going to happen to your body. That is something you don't see in other cars in this class. So I need you to know that the Hyundai Sonata comes in 3 trims. There's the GLS, there's the Sports Edition, that's the SC, and there's the Limited. This is the Limited. That is why it has all these things and it has leather seats. So the leather is not Benz level type of premium leather, obviously, but yeah, it works. This car is very, very easy to use. Aside from this screen, I'll see there are not a lot of buttons. Everything here is AC control. Because this car is limited, it has a dual zone climate control. This place controls this left side of the car, this place controls the right side of the car. Yet again, because it is the limited trim, it also has the heated and cooling seats function that allows your seat to be hot or cold depending on how you're feeling. Comfort. Another thing I like about this car is the odometer. The odometer is divided into 2 parts. One part has the RPM, but inside that place there's the temperature control. One part has the speedometer, but inside that place there's the fuel gauge. I like that. And at the center, you now have other monitoring screens to where your check engine light comes up. Maybe the guy is telling you about something, your miles, how much fuel you've used, your trip, just information about the car generally. I like how it looks here. Aside the screen and this thing at the center stack, you can see that the center console is very spacious. 2 cup holders, big. Then there's now one large space here that contains your aux cord, your USB port, and 2 sockets. 2 sockets where you can plug your charger or whatever. Let's check the pigeonhole. Not so large, but yeah, it's big. It does the work, does the job. When I was driving, I noticed that the speakers of this car, although it's not a regular speaker, I can see a name there, Dimension, but it be like see the thing don't burst. Do you understand? So like when you buy this car, if you buy this car, don't always leave your volume on high level. If you leave it on high level, it eventually bursts and you don't like the sound. So this one or two has burst and it doesn't really sound good. That means the speaker is not premium. It's not a JBL or Hammond Kardon or which other one here. So it's just like a brand you don't know, Dimension, but I guess it's alright. It's alright, yeah. It's alright. So yeah. The seat is very comfortable. I showed you that it's leather because it is limited. It's leather. Let's check how comfortable the seat is at the rear. Comfortable. There's no hump because this car is a front wheel drive. Doesn't have any transmission tunnel. So yeah, it makes sense. Very comfortable. 3 people can sit comfortably in the back. But because it is a coupe design, slows backwards. If you are very tall, you have a hard time sitting at the back. You get, because this space is sloping downwards. But besides that, the car is very comfortable at the back. You can see that because it is a limited trim, there's AC vents for people in the back. You can also control it for this side, for this side. So this car feels premium. Tell me another car that is 4 million naira or 4.5 million naira. I'm going to give you this. Like the 2012 car that has this feature. None. So this car gives you value for money. Let's talk about what drives this car and how this car drives. First thing you need to know is that this car is a front wheel drive. Front wheel drive is what the Sonata is. No drifting, none of that with this car. It's a low power car. You have 2 engine options. There's the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine and there's the 2-liter turbocharged engine. These 2 engines are paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission that has a manual mode. I would advise you, do not buy the turbocharged engine because the turbocharged engine is the faster one, but that's also the engine that has like an issue. Turbochargers always have issues, low-key when you think about it. Now, turbocharger on a Korean manufacturer that's just coming up, they haven't really perfected the art of like turbocharging cars. So I'll tell you, just avoid the turbo engine and buy the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine. That's what this car is, and it has ample power. It works, it does the job. Like the car was all right when I drove it down here. Like, yeah. How does it drive? How does it drive? Let's drive this car and see how it drives. First thing I'm noticing about the drive is that the steering feels heavy. It is weighty, so it doesn't feel like a car that would be light on the road. But when you get to top speed, it will feel lighter. But right now it feels heavy. I like I like that I can feel the steering. I haven't driven the 2.0 turbo, but I know it responds better than this. So when it comes to the drive, it is not the most enjoyable and it's not the most boring. So it is just somewhere in between. The steering and everything. Now let me throttle now. Let me throttle from 0 to here. Definitely not for sporty driving, but feels good when you drive. The fuel consumption on this car is amazing. 35 miles per gallon is the MPG number on this car. That means this car is very, very economical, especially the 2.4 liter engine. It's very, very economical. Very, very economical. Yeah, so going around the bend, I like that the steering is heavy. I can feel it. So yeah. Car drives pretty well. That's the bottom line of this. No, normally I won't drive a car, but I wanted to find out like if the Sonata is better than all these Camry and Accord. I consider they are in the same level, even though I feel like it drives better than the Camry, but not better than the Accord. The fourth thing is the big question: is this car compatible with Nigeria? Like when you are driving this car, people don't look at you funny. People just look at you as a corporate executive kind of guy. Even if you're an entrepreneur, nobody's going to disturb you. Police don't stop Sonatas. Like they don't have any business. You know that if they stop you, they're going to drag case with you because you are probably a lawyer or you have a lawyer or you're going to work. You don't have time. You're going to tell them that I'm going to take you to court. Like you get like nobody in the Sonata has time for all this interrogation that is against the law and all that stuff. Yeah? So like the Sonata might just work for you if you don't want any wahala on the road. So yeah, compatibility with Nigeria is just good. Nah, it's not close to the ground. But when I was coming, I heard one sound. I hit something on the floor, maybe because that place was very sharp, but it's not close to the ground like that. So the car it works. It can take it through potholes, not like it can enter rough roads, but compatibility in Nigeria, the car needs to be able to enter some small potholes every now and then, and this car can do that for you. It doesn't have any parts that is going to be affected by flooding, but I don't think you should take your Hyundai Sonata through flood. So yeah, compatibility with Nigeria is a car that works in Nigeria. That's why you're seeing it everywhere on the road. Everybody is trying to buy a Sonata these days because the car actually just makes sense. So what are the problems you would face if you own the Hyundai Sonata 6th generation in Nigeria? This car has a number of electrical issues. The first electrical issue is that it has a fuse box inside this place. You can see it here. There's a fuse box inside here. So some problems might emanate from here. Like once you start noticing any electrical issue, you can just advise your electrical technician that they should first start to sort the problem for you, because a lot of problems start to happen from the fuse box here. Maybe something's not working. For instance, your speaker can just go off while you're driving. Speaker cannot just work. Probably a fuse issue. So all those small fuse issues always happen. Another problem with this car is that so this is the key. This is the key. My guy had this car and he was always having key issues. The key, you get to a petrol station, buy petrol, you start the car will not come on. They'll say something has spot in the key. And because the parts are not so locally available, he needs to order it and wait. Then he waited one time, got the key, fixed it, it works sometimes, it not work sometimes. So yeah, all these kind of small electrical issues, they piss me off on this car. That's one of the issues that this car has that you need to know about, electrical issues. The second issue that this car has is a timing chain tensioner issue. Let me show you some. Maybe you're just driving, you're just saying something like kaka. There's something called the timing tensioner. Yeah. So it can just spoil, and once I hear kaka, know that your timing chain tensioner has spoiled. It's a very common issue. Remember that sound? Like it just sounds like something's rattling. So you know that the timing chain tensioner has spoiled. So that's one common issue that this engine has. Let's say you start your car and it's just rough idling, like it's just like it's not running smooth when you start it. Or you're driving down the road and you're supposed to fire down, but then it's just giving you sounds like the engine is not trying to move. Like you're sure that it's not transmission, this one is engine, like the engine is acting funny and not moving as it's supposed to move. Then it's probably an EGR valve issue. Another problem might be that the parts are actually quite pricey. Yeah, the parts of this car are quite pricey. Not just this car, any Hyundai in Nigeria, because The part sellers believe that anybody that is driving Sonata, iX35, Elantra is working in the bank, collecting big money, and it's an official car. So every time they want to fix it, there's money, like there's company money to fix the car. Like it's not you that is going to pay for this repair, or it's not you that is going to pay. It is not you that is going to pay for this part. That's the assumption. It's not you that will pay for this part. So parts are pricey. Toyota parts are way cheaper than this, so the parts are very pricey. So let's say you want to replace your side mirror, you hear ridiculous prices. You want to replace your headlights, you hear ridiculous prices. You need to know about that. But normally they will say Hyundai, Toyota, Nissan, Honda mechanics. They're not the same. Hyundai is like a Benz or a BMW. It needs a specialist mechanic. Like we have come to realize that Hyundai systems are not very normal. They're not like all these other cars. You need to have a mechanic that knows about Hyundai at hand. So before you buy the car, it's better to find a mechanic that is sure to fix your Hyundai for you when something goes wrong. Don't give your Sonata to a regular mechanic. I am begging you. Don't give your Sonata to a regular mechanic. They would mess some things up for you, and you won't like that. So yeah, Hyundai is one of those cars that are affordable, but they need a specialist mechanic. My final verdict on this car would be that the Hyundai Sonata is a car that you buy tokes. Buy it tokes so that you're sure that, oh yeah, you're buying one that has been properly maintained. These cars, they don't have very good second-hand value. So why are you buying a third-hand Hyundai in Nigeria? It doesn't make any sense. Don't buy a used Sonata. Buy tokes so that you're sure that this car is coming into your hands clean, and you will not start maintaining it properly. Use the recommended oil. Use the recommended service parts. The car works for everybody. Good car to drive and own in Nigeria. You just need to know about these problems. Timing chain issue, timing chain tensioner issue. Avoid the turbo. I know you still can buy a turbo engine, but if you buy a turbo engine, just know that you need to now be extra cautious. So if you don't want to be extra cautious while driving your Sonata, don't buy the turbo engine. But if you don't mind being extra cautious, if you don't mind spending money on repairs every 4 months, every 5 months, then you can buy the turbo engine, the 2.0 turbo engine, because that one's actually faster and you enjoy the drive more and more. So yeah, my name is Crank of 234 Driver, and see you next time. I just told you why the Hyundai Sonata just might make sense for you if you are looking for a breath of fresh air. Bye.